everyone, I just arrived in Romania yesterday, so I wanted to give you an update on how the delivery of medical supplies has gone so far. So let me start back on Tuesday night. Laura received another donation of medical supplies that made us had to go into the 8th box. So we wanted to fill that box, so we reviewed the list of critical medical supplies that we had received from our contacts in Romania, who they had received from their contacts in Ukraine. And we went over to the local CVS and we bought $1,000 worth of additional medical supplies to fill up that 8th box. And then that afternoon, I barely fit all 8 boxes into the back of Laura's car.
8 boxes. Pull it close.
7 a.m. the next morning, we headed to the airport, and the first thing we found is that those little luggage carts that they have at the airport that they rent, well, somewhere along the line, they've gotten much smaller than they used to be. And now they also have a little brake, so that you have to constantly hold the brake in order to get them to move. So my little hack of tying a couple of these together wasn't going to work.
Oh, we'll come back for you guys. Don't worry.
But once we got to the ticket agents, the United employees were tremendous once they found out that we were carrying humanitarian supplies for Ukraine. And in particular, Hugo Castro, he was our kind of a ticket agent, and he was an absolute hero. He really took us under his wing and made sure that we got all of these boxes tagged with priority. And then he escorted us over because they were large. We needed to go over to conveyor belt and put them on the conveyor belt. He was a tremendous help. The personal touch that these employees provided could not have been nicer. So the flight to Romania, by way of a very short layover in Chicago and another short layover in Munich, Germany, was really uneventful, and which is exactly the way you want a long flight to be. In Cluj-Napoca, the airport is quite small, and there was like 5 or 6 immigration agents, so that all went very quickly. But then I was faced with the challenge of getting all of these boxes through customs. And I think in all of the 36 countries that I've ever been to, I've never declared anything at customs. This time I knew I needed to declare. And eventually I found the one employee who worked for customs there. And this woman looked at all of these boxes and she was mildly annoyed. What am I supposed to do with this? She didn't speak much English. I don't speak much Romanian, but eventually we were able to discern that I had Kai on the outside, who I was able to see because the doors opened and closed occasionally as passengers were leaving. And so she invited him in and he was able to explain everything to her. Now, it turns out that we were supposed to have filled out some advanced customs forms. We had a manifest that was provided by Patrir of all of the inventory of things we brought. But so she was mildly annoyed about that we didn't have all of this paperwork, but Kai was amazing. He was able to talk with her, and because he already had a relationship with her, she eventually just said, just go on through. We were all very happy that we didn't have to go through each item in all 8 boxes one at a time. I think she was probably happy as well. So once we got outside customs, Kai officially warmly welcomed me and profusely thanked me and really all of you for all of the donations and bringing these medical supplies that they've been fairly challenged to get in Europe. Next week, also, Kai and I are going to discuss how to use the extra $9,000 that we already have in this GoFundMe campaign. What we'll most likely do is buy medications that I obviously couldn't cross international borders with, and I'll give you another update. We're going to look at those critical needs. We'll bring those things as well. So once we were outside, I got to meet Patrir's driver extraordinaire, Vasil, and Vasil is so immensely charming and helpful. He just immediately warmly greeted me, and this is again one of the experiences that I've had whenever I've traveled to Eastern European countries. Everyone is very proud and very welcoming to anyone who happens to come. So in no time at all, we loaded all of the boxes onto Vasil's truck and we headed over to the warehouse that was fairly close to the airport. Once there, Vasil offered me an espresso, which I really needed after having been awake for so long, and he gave me a tour of the warehouse. This warehouse has been serving Patrir and the humanitarian efforts since the beginning of the conflict. And they're now getting a bigger warehouse because of all of the support that they've been doing. But you can see here, there's all of these different medical supplies, food supplies, and Vasil showed me some of these food boxes, and these are like a food box that would serve a Ukrainian family for about a week. So lots and lots of work being done here, and I look forward to learning more about the work that they're doing. Kai then took me over to Patrier's headquarters where they were actually having a volunteer meeting. So that brings you pretty much up to date. I checked into the Airbnb last night. I was very exhausted. I kept falling asleep while I was trying to read emails on my computer. But now today I feel fully rested, and I had this whole day to rest because it is a holiday here. And it's the first day that the team has gotten off since the war started. And I really wanted to thank all of you for all of the really generous donations and all of the sharing that you've done on social media. You guys are the true heroes because we're so far away from Ukraine. It's really easy to be indifferent about what's going on in Ukraine, but you've all stepped up in various ways in order to donate and share this fundraising campaign. And that really means a lot, not only to me, but to the people of Ukraine and the people in Romania who are trying to help the people in Ukraine. You really are all stepping up and sharing love, care, and kindness with the people of Ukraine, and that really means a lot. So far, we have received 135 donations and just shy of $20,000. I'm hoping that when I do this update, we'll just get right over that $20,000 mark. But this is really incredible, and the donations are far exceeding what I thought we would be at this point. Next week, our 8 boxes of medical supplies will go to Ukraine, and I will continue to keep you posted. I'll try to video as much as possible, and most likely these boxes are going to go to the Children's Hospital in Chernihiv, Ukraine, just across the border, and I'll try to give you as much information as I can. Please continue to donate if you can and share this fundraising campaign with your friends and family and on social media. We'll see if we can continue to provide support to the Ukrainian people. If you have any questions for me, the best thing to do is just leave a comment on this YouTube video. That also helps the YouTube algorithm. If you like the work that we're doing, just give the video a like button. That'll also help. Until next time, mulțumesc!